Good afternoon and good morning. Welcome to our special Charlie Mike webinar series hosted by the National Veterans Farmers Coalition. Thank you for joining us today. We would like to thank our sponsors, BAA Systems and Philips, for making this webinar series possible. We got a couple of events coming up this summer. One is our NVSBC charity golf tournament. It's going to be held at the Army Navy Drive golf course in Alton, Virginia. Please, if you're a golfer, please come out and meet fellow veteran small business owners. And after the golf tournament, we're going to have a networking lunch, so you get to network with your fellow business owners. And we'd like to make a reminder again for our first annual Veteran Government Gala Awards. Nominations are due until the 15th of July. So if there's somebody you'd like to nominate for the award, please go to the system, which we're going to tell you about in a minute, and nominate your favorite person for either Champion Award, the Veteran Small Business Advocacy Award, or the Gordon H. Manfield Award. Today's webinar is 1 hour, it's actually 1 hour, hopefully, and it's being recorded. The slides and the recording will be sent to you by Friday this week. So look out for your email for that. If you have any questions during this webinar, please type in the right hand of the screen on the control panel. Again, my name is Earl Morgan from the NVSBC, and we have a special webinar today for VetFedConnect. You've probably gotten some of the emails in your inbox saying, please join VetFedConnect, and you're like, what is this system? So there's a new platform that the NVSBC is doing to introduce, and we're going to have our Deputy Executive Director, Zack Armstrong, who's going to tell you how to access the system and how to look for information in the system. So Zack, I'm going to go ahead and pass on the baton, and the floor is all yours.
All right. Good news here. Once I can start sharing my screen, if you can see this PowerPoint. Can you see the screen, Earl?
I can see the screen.
All right, fantastic. So.
All right. All right, then you just now.
All right, can you still see me, Earl, or do you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, I can still see you and the PowerPoint.
Okay, so, first off, I just want to say thank you to Earl, for the warm introduction. I'm grateful that we have so many of you joining us today. And personally, I'm thrilled to represent NVSBC and our members, organizations, all of you making the time today to share, for us to share more about our membership system called VetFedConnect. It's something that, I've been looking forward to for some time. Our board of directors, they've invested in this tool, this system called VetFedConnect. Our staff is putting in a lot of effort to build this system out, and we truly believe it will help our member organizations find opportunities, connect with other businesses, and ultimately, and likely most importantly, to grow their business. For us, having what I'll call a single interface, or the NVSBC universe in one spot, it's just a place where you can manage your NVSBC account, your membership. And for us, that's a game changer. So, to start, I'd really like to share that it's been a privilege for me to serve in this newly created role, the Deputy Executive Director for NVSBC. Starting in March of this year, having a few months before that consulting on behalf of NVSBC. I've had a lot of interactions with existing members, new member organizations, and just the people that make this organization go and that care so much about it. It's been nothing short of positive and encouraging. So with that, I do want to say to the NVSBC Coalition and everyone, the partners, thanks for the warm welcome and welcoming me into the GovCon family here. So a couple of pieces I just want to frame up for our conversation today. It's been helpful for me to pick up the phone, meet people at events, learn about our member organizations, why they're so dedicated, and why that's important to this call is, I'm in listen mode. why part of the reason I was brought here to do this job is to translate some of like what you're trying to accomplish into a system like VetFedConnect. And I'll tell you more about all those details in a moment. And, hopefully we have a very rich dialogue at the end. But, even before that, before I get into some of those specific details, I would like to thank BAE Systems and Philips North America for their generous sponsorship of the Charlie Mike training series. As Earl alluded to, like we wouldn't be able to do this with, provide such rich training and support SDVOSBs and VOSBs in this manner without their support. So thank you to BAE Systems and Philips North America. And then finally, again, before we really get into it, VetFedConnect is new. Like as Earl mentioned, a lot of you have received some emails. We've had a lot of good traction so far with people, both members and prospects getting into the system to see what we have to offer and what we're building. But I make that comment because we're learning right alongside you. So I highly encourage you to, type in questions into the chat box so Earl can synthesize those, package those for the end of the training. And like your questions will help us improve that user experience. So let's go ahead and dive in here. So a little bit, why I'm here today in terms of an agenda and a structure. I'll share a little bit about that. The details of, what it is we're trying to accomplish with VetFedConnect. I think a lot of you are asking the question of like, where are you guys at with this? What's going on? Like, so I have an update about where we're going with VetFedConnect, some of the exciting features that we're building and we're about to launch on top of what you're already seeing. I'll also share a little bit of like what we're learning and seeing so far, which I think will be really helpful for all of you. And then what I've promised in terms of like a walkthrough, the 4 pieces that you'll walk away with today. Like I'll share with you how to update your personal or what we call a linked profile. So that's the individual profile. And then the business profile, like the member organization profile. You'll also learn about how to register for events. One of the key learnings we found are, folks not only register themselves, but they're registering others. So I'll walk you through what that looks like. And then how to connect with other member organizations, possible teaming opportunities. Like this opportunities piece, I think is ripe. Like we have a lot of interest in it. We're starting to collect more and more, and I'll show you what that looks like. And then lastly, like we're truly where we're going, additional functions that are going to provide value to you, the member organization, within VetFedConnect. But ultimately, to sum up today's talk, like we really want VetFedConnect to help you find opportunities, to help you connect with other businesses, and ultimately to grow your business. So a little bit more detail about the takeaways, like those 4 that I mentioned at the end, like I'll call that first one like the foundation. Like we want you to start with the foundation so you can start to explore, so people can start to explore and find you. Next is what I'll call like the blocking and tackling. That next step of how do you register for events? How do you register other people for events? How do you start to engage and network virtually? And then how that translates into you coming into in-person events physically. The third stage, like identifying your target. That's how I'm defining that, where, it's connecting with others, looking for opportunities, posting opportunities, sharing those opportunities. So folks, our member organizations can identify what their next target is. And lastly, like additional functions that they're going to bring you value in your organization. I'm framing that up as like strengthening connections and taking things to the next level. So again, a little bit of background about me and like why specifically I'm helping with this project and helping to lead it. As starting in March and then a few months before that, since November as a consultant with NVSBC, my experience with membership organizations, with veteran service organizations, like I'm learning from all of you through phone calls, emails, and trainings like this. So that dialogue is like very important to us. So whether it be activities, systems, like interactions and trainings like this, I want you to know, like I'm here today to share, but also to learn, like what other features, how is this working for you? So like I am really looking forward to that dialogue at the end. But myself, Earl, and the rest of our team, like we're building new features in VetFedConnect. We're fine-tuning features, and we're always learning because every environment, like we're not going to be static. We're going to make this so it serves the needs of our members. So again, feedback helps us improve our programs, and I look forward to learning from you as much as I get to share today. Okay, so what is a VFC or VetFedConnect? Ultimately, we're here to serve SDVOSBs and VOSBs so they can claim their profile in VetFedConnect, that single interface where they can interact with fellow small business owners, leaders, large GovCons, buyers, help build, other partnerships through, connecting with buyers, connecting with large GovCon primes, direct communication within VetFedConnect, accessing all of our training, our Charlie Mike training just like this, or any other training that we have. Providing input to influence federal policy is another large piece of why we want all of this in one spot to make it easier for you. As we advocate on your behalf, this is going to be the one-stop shop, whether we're pushing emails out to you or you're coming to VetFedConnect to provide your input. And then ultimately, one of the things we're most excited about is being able to conduct more market research with all the data that you're able to share and that we're collecting on your behalf. So I'll vector you towards that red box for a minute. Like anything in blue there, like those are the features within VetFedConnect that will address like what we talked about in those red bullets there. So anything from our events that are training, engagement, networking events, the resources that we provide, first call newsletter, our strategy and legislative update, any solicitations, as well as opportunities. This is a chance for federal buyers, potential partners, some of our primes to share like the opportunities that exist for our member organizations to look at. Corporate partner deals, another thing we're very excited to provide those exclusive benefits. You'll come to VetFedConnect for that information. We'll also be pushing that information out, but it'll all be packaged in VetFedConnect. The surveys, so again, you can provide input to influence policy. And then the last two are kind of like what we're building actively. The directory for market research and connection, as well as the forum. Okay, so for the next stakeholder, we're talking about federal agencies and services, large government primes, like how will they be involved? Like through VetFedConnect, they'll have access to capabilities through the 47,000 SDVOSBs and VOSBs in this database, in this system. Opportunity to connect, not just direct communication, but through other programs that we're building, conducting market research and sharing that information. So a little bit of this is a push-pull, like this is an opportunity for these agencies and primes to share, but also to collect and receive information from all of you. So one of the things, like again, vectoring you towards that red box, the resources, the opportunities, one of the new ones is federal procurement events. This is a chance for us to publish and have one great spot for you to go and see industry days, events, and events from our friends and partners. Okay, taking a step aside for a moment, like where are we at with VetFedConnect? We did many months of building out the platform so it was functional. And right before our VetFedConnect conference, we did some beta testing with some small groups. So we've improved based upon that feedback into our soft launch, which was anyone who was at VetFedConnect heard us speak about VetFedConnect, what we were building, now giving everyone access to it so they can start to get into their account, update their information, and start to explore. With our main launch coming shortly after the Vets Conference on June 8th. And ever since, like we've been following up with folks that are active in the system and folks that haven't, claimed their profile or been active yet. Where we're going with this. So we're working very close with, our partner, the Small Business Administration. We're uploading publicly available data, connecting to profiles. So we have a very rich source of information for that market research in that directory. One of the things we're very excited about is launching a pilot program called VetFed Match, where we're working with primes, at least starting to explore that in late July, early August, where we're collecting information from VetFedConnect, we're sharing it with primes, understanding if that matches their needs, and then getting folks together to discuss if some business opportunities can exist. So that's one of the reasons we ask you to make sure your profile is complete on both sides, whether you're a prime or an SDV, OSB, or a VOSB. Those new features, I mentioned the directory and the forum. One of the things I'll get into in a little bit is we made a conscious decision because enhanced capability was available for us if we were to just pause for a little while. So we're working actively to bring you an even better experience than we would have been able to previously with a directory and a forum. Okay, what we're learning, what we're seeing, it is very encouraging on our side, a lot of increased activity by our members, by the prospects that are in this system. So people are filling out their profiles, adding their key contacts, just as we're hoping in kind of those first phases of the launch. Profiles are being claimed by, like I said, members and prospects. We're receiving healthy feedback that's helping us. It's critical for us to continuously learn and build from member organizations. One of them I'll show you today. We're acting on the feedback that we're receiving to improve the user experience. One of our member organizations said, hey, there was this great spot to add my capabilities narrative, in a text box, but would it be possible? I have this really, excellent PDF that I'd love people to see that shows my capabilities in a better fashion. So we were able to work with that gentleman, and I'll show you. We're going to actually upload it during this training. And then communications. This is a larger problem for us, and I think for all of you, are through the roof better and more effective. We've had emails that are in newsletters that are reaching more and more of our members and our prospects. Solicitations, things are really starting to work. Even though we've had a few hiccups, we've learned from those hiccups, and we're really, really happy and helpful that people are providing feedback to us to help us get better. Okay, so what I'll do from here, I'd like to walk through a little bit of what it looks like as a couple different stakeholders. But I'm going to share my screen in VetFedConnect, and then we'll take it from there and end with some questions. So if I start, one of the things I'll do is assume the profile of one of our good friends and member organizations, Cynthia Miracle, who is our vice president of the board of directors. So there's a reason why I chose Cynthia for this as well, and it's because MiraCorp has linked have other linked profiles like employees within their business, and I want to show you all what it's like to sign, let alone yourself up, but sign other people from your organization up. So I may jump to other profiles from time to time just to show specific features, but what you're looking at here, this is VetFedConnect, a landing page where it does say welcome to NVSBC's VetFedConnect. Should have your name, your business, and then your member type. So what I'll take you through is a brief walkthrough to start, kind of going over the banner, some of the options, some of your profile, and then we'll jump into the details that I promised of those 4 takeaways. So you guys have exactly the steps, and it'll be recorded in YouTube for you to come back to. So first and foremost, getting to VetFedConnect, I highly encourage that you bookmark the page. So bookmark in whatever fashion you desire. If you don't have this already linked, or if you can't find an email from us that gets you back to VetFedConnect, one place you can go is our website. You can always go to our website, click on VetFedConnect in this upper left-hand corner, this red button, and it'll take you to VetFedConnect, where you can either log in, log out, depends on if you have that information saved. So that's another place where I'll start. If you are unable to log in for whatever reason, we have launched. Everyone as a member should have received access with their username and password, which you can update at any time. But please don't hesitate to contact me, Earl, or anyone on our staff. My email is zack.armstrong@nvsbc.org. Be happy to make sure we can get you in. And that's the first step, making sure you can get in. So in terms of the home page, if you scroll down, you can go to this My Profile piece, which is one of the more powerful places to update all of your information. So again, we're logged in under Cynthia. You can see she's updated her profile. We'll go into the organization and look at that in a little bit more detail, but even more of her information that she's completed or some of that was pre-populated for her. We'll go through some of that in a moment. But in terms of the banner at the top, like we'll focus on that for a few minutes, just giving like a high level walkthrough. So if we click on like the what is VetFedConnect or the guide to getting started, this is more of kind of what I'm walking you through today. What it is, what are the benefits for each stakeholders, and then I highly encourage you all to look at some of the tutorials that our team has built. There are links to some of the most important pieces of getting started with VetFedConnect. You know, it's completing your profile, adding company employees, visiting events, and again, the directory and the forum, which are coming shortly. The next piece, again, for prospects or folks who don't know much about NVSBC yet, like who we are, what is our mission? What are we trying to accomplish with training, networking, and advocacy? And then how do we do that? You know, the promotion, the connection, and how we develop skills for business owners and make those connections. So this mission's there. This next piece, these landing pages under programs, I think this is one of the better parts that VetFedConnect can provide even more detailed information for our programs and events. So let's look at the Charlie Mike training series, for instance. So this will show, again, a little bit about what the Charlie Mike training series is, the topics that we cover, you know, a little bit of the time information, also access to like the NVSBC YouTube channel, so folks can go back at any time. If they wanted to click here to register for a Charlie Mike training, and then, you know, it's a chance for us to share, or, you know, who sponsors us and their generous sponsorship with BAE and Philips. So these landing pages under programs can be really powerful for all of our programs and events. Whether it's DC dinners, you know, again, what is the event? What is the program? How to register? What are the details? So in case you want to pass this information to somebody else. Our Vets Conference, our scholarship program, you know, again, these landing pages should have the most level of detail regarding all of our programs and events. You know, our Vets ETA conference, our golf tournament. Again, all of this information is at your fingertips now in one spot, tied back to the system where you would register, pay, unless the event is free, opportunities for sponsorship, all of that good contact information. So I highly encourage you to spend some time around the program side. The last one I'll show you is the Veteran GovCon Awards Gala. This seems to be top of mind for a lot of folks, along with the golf tournament of like, what is this Veteran GovCon Awards Gala? You know, how do I nominate folks? Where do I go? You know, who qualifies, all of that, and then where to register for the event. So next piece I'll direct you to under this top banner is the events side. You know, the events, like again, this is a game changer for us where all of the events are in one spot. You could sort by a training or by an event. So if you wanted to look from our Charlie Mike's trainings, you could sort and click on that training piece and see which ones are upcoming. We have many more. Actually, Earl and I just finished up closing out all of the trainings through July. So more will be in there very shortly. Going back, like if you wanted to look by event, like without scrolling, making this a little simpler for yourself to see, you know, date information about the charity golf tournament, the awards gala, DC dinners, and more. And again, there's a couple different ways you can look through this. You could look search, you could look by month. So if you preferred the calendar view, you could do such a thing. And then once you're ready, you can click on the event, actually get into some of the details, register, and move forward in that manner. Opportunities, we're going to spend some time on this in just a little bit, but you know, this is an opportunity for, you know, businesses to promote their opportunities, whether they be, you know, federal agencies, buyers, primes. You know, I think this will be one of the better spots, I think, for a lot of our members to either search for information or come back here whenever they're ready. Resources, again, it's another thing we'll go through in a little bit more detail in just a moment. Corporate partner deals, another thing we'll go over. Contact us. So I think this ribbon is really powerful. The other couple pieces I'll kind of vector your attention to are these quick links. And we'll continue to add quick links, but We'll talk about federal procurement events, what those are, why that's important. And then if you didn't want to go into the events piece up top, the upcoming events will always be like the most salient and pertinent events on the far right. So if you wanted to click right into some of these events, they're available for you. Okay, so taking a step back to like what I was calling the foundation. You know, this is updating your profile, your personal profile, your organization profile. Again, I'm underneath, you know, I'm showing screen as if I'm Cynthia Miracle, our board chair and owner of MiraCorp. You know, this is an important step. Why we start with this, it's going to help you get noticed by other businesses. Like if you come in here, click on my profile and begin this process, like this is the first step. So you can add information about yourself. So again, under my profile to start your personal profile, and then under, as you scroll down, clicking edit, this is where more of those options will show up. So some of this information is pre-populated, and some of it you can update at any time. Address, title, certifications, branch, all kinds of information that as an individual, if you choose to share, will be available for you. The next piece, again, under profile, perhaps even just as important, if not more important, is the member organization profile. So when we click on your organization, this should go to MiraCorp. And this is where, again, there's many fields where Cynthia and her team can come in here and click edit, look at the information that they can add, and again, add specific information. So particularly when we get our directory up and running, like this will be available for our members. The one piece, again, that I think is really powerful are these individual profiles piece. And you'll see there's, again, a reason why we chose MiraCorp and Cynthia as the example. When registering for events, if you have other of your employees in the system, there's a load for us. So again, Cynthia's added Susan as a key contact, where all they would have to do is create this linked profile, and then you'd be able to add whatever username and email you'd like. Then Cynthia and Susan can register themselves or each other for events, which makes it seems to be a feature that a lot of our members were clamoring for. So one of the pieces I wanted to do today, just to show you how easy some of this is I'm actually going to return and log in as the example I was sharing with you earlier. One of the gentlemen who asked for a feature, which is CRG automation, and our friend James, he asked to add his capabilities PDF. And essentially, you know, I'm logged in as James. I'm going to go to his organization profile. And then once I get here, I'll click edit. And if I scroll down, one of the pieces he requested, so in addition to the capabilities narrative, we added this capabilities narrative file to upload. So this is recent as of yesterday. So if I click on upload capabilities narrative and CRG automation capabilities statement, it should take just a moment. Uploaded successfully. I come up here, I click save, and now this rich information will be available when folks come across James and CRG automation. So again, wanted to share with you where you can go to update your organization's profile, update information, as well as your individual profile and information. Okay. That second step in terms of like learning about and registering for events, like I started to take you through going through events is one of the best ways to get to our events. And you know, why is this important? Like it's going to help folks come to our trainings, our networking advocacy events, and allow you to expand your business network and your business knowledge. So if we were to say, again, as Cynthia, as MiraCorp, if Cynthia said, I want to log in today and I want to make sure Susan, my colleague, is attending this Charlie and Mike event. So one of the things she could do is click on that training, scroll down and saying like, if this is the exact training I was hoping for, here's a little bit of the synopsis of what participants will take away from this Charlie Mike training. She clicks on the register here. And then we get to a screen, and one of the really cool things about VetFedConnect is it allows you to register yourself or register others. And if your information's in the system, you won't have to type it in again. So let's say, for instance, she didn't want to register herself for this. She just wanted to register a linked profile. She would just click register linked profile and select that person. Actually, this is somebody else. I'm sorry, this is not Susan. This is still CRG automation. But if if James wanted to register somebody else, this is how we do that. So again, he can come in here, click submit, and now Jeff Gilkey at this email address, which has already been typed in because he's a linked contact, will receive that notification that he's been registered for the event. And it truly is that simple. That's part of the power of making this, like once you're logged in, all that information is saved to make it at your fingertips easy. Okay, shifting gears to that third kind of takeaway from today, like identifying your next target. I do want to focus in on, some of where federal agencies and primes can share some information for other members. So if we click on this opportunities in the top middle, it's going to take us to this, and it actually says the job board. It's one of the things we're trying to change some of the language on. But for the sake of this training today, I wanted to share with you 3 different opportunities. And again, some of these are past due, but I think they're really helpful for the sake of this training to share with you what this could look like. So again, we're looking at an opportunity from Raytheon, an opportunity from the Department of the Air Force, and an opportunity from the Jet Propulsion Lab. So why this is important, as opportunities come to myself and Earl and the rest of our team, like this isn't a place where we can post them and then share them via newsletter. But why that's also very important is, as you can see on the right here, if you wanted to receive an update, you could enter in your information here, sign up, and anytime a new opportunity is added, that'll be sent right to your mailbox. So as myself and Earl and our team, and as we open up this access, like you will have even more opportunity to look at the details of some of these opportunities. So for instance, it can be as brief or as lengthy, and I'll show you a couple different ways in which this has worked so far. Inga Lee sent us information asking like, hey, could you share this with your coalition? And this is the information she shared with us. They're looking for a veteran business enterprise that specializes in industrial supplies distribution, essentially an integrator. And we put this on here, posted it, and then got it out. So examples like Raytheon, the Air Force, where through our contacts at the Air Force, they shared the sam.gov link. And again, this looks and feels a little bit different, but as you can see, the information they wanted to share for the opportunity is right here. And then lastly, like the Jet Propulsion Lab sent a little bit more detail, where a little bit of the description of what this was about, a link, kind of release dates, and then how to apply for these opportunities. And again, I show these as examples because there are ways, as we continue to populate this, as we receive opportunities to add, you can sort on specific industries. So if you were just looking for construction, you could sort on construction and have all of those that apply. So I highly encourage you guys to, again, look at this opportunities tab frequently, but if it's something you want it to be pushed right to your email address, you can add your email address in here. But this is a way in which NVSBC will also vector you towards, like when we send out newsletters, we'll have links to our opportunities, resources, and other pieces. Okay, so another way to connect with member organizations or possible teaming opportunities, the networking side of things, I want to introduce you to this quick link on the right called Federal Procurement Events. So Federal Procurement Events, this is very simple for us. Like this is a way where you'll be able to find, the list of all non-NVSBC events. These are our friends and our partners that have events for you. And again, we'll share this via newsletter, but at any time you can come to in VetFedConnect, this federal procurement events, and we have our friends at the National Hub Zone Conference. Their conference is coming up. You could click on the direct link to their website registration. Has a little synopsis. Navy Gold Coast Conference, again, the dates and a synopsis, a link back to their website. And we'll continue to fill this out as we gather more and more information from our friends and partners. But again, possible ways for you to connect and create opportunities. Okay, that last takeaway, what I called strengthening connections and taking things to the next level. The 3 features, some of them I mentioned already. The directory, we're actively working to build the directory in the forum. So market research can be provided, opportunities to connect with other VOSBs and SDVOSBs for teaming, Q&A. The other thing that you'll notice on the far right under quick links in the near future will be an access for surveys. We've continued, particularly through the Vets Conference this last March, how we advocate on your behalf and how we're gathering information on what's important to you. As much as we send out our strategy and legislative updates, like we're starting to gather even more intel to be able to package that and advocate on all of your behalf. So those are the 3 items in terms of how we're trying to take things to the next level for you and how you can share input with us. One of the pieces in terms of offerings is this corporate partner deals. One that we do have a couple here. We have 2 or more in the hopper that will likely be added by the end of next week. And we have several more that we're considering, but coming to this corporate partner deals where specific deals that help our member organizations, both professionally, personally, Small Business Tax Act, where they could get their consumer tax discount or their small business tax discount, set aside alert, annual subscription billing at 20%. So we have, like I said, many more in the hopper, but coming to this corporate partner deals site to receive benefits of being a member with NVSBC. And then in terms of additional functions that I want to make sure you all know, under resources, we have first call newsletters, our strategy and legislative updates, and our legislative policy. So again, our first call newsletters are sponsored by Philips North America. We send these out. Earl sends these out at the beginning of every month with thought leadership, articles, lead articles from Scott, our staff, our board, other subject matter experts. But now at any point you could access them very quickly. Just coming in here, clicking on the link. So it's you're coming in whenever you would like, in addition to us actually sending these out to you. So these are available at your fingertips through VetFedConnect. Same with the strategy and legislative update. So if I click on that, once that loads, again, a little bit of what this strategy and legislative update is all about. A lot of you probably know that this already exists and you receive it. Again, prospects, new members, this is a way for all of you to have access to some previous information. You can click on these at any time and they're at your fingertips. So one of the other pieces I'd like to show, give me a moment here, and if I find Cynthia again, and I assume her profile. Actually, this might work better a different way. But again, one of the things I wanted to, reiterate were upcoming events and action items for all of you. We've heard a lot recently in VetFedConnect, as well as outside of VetFedConnect, where do I go to nominate folks for the Veteran GovCon Awards Gala? So this is where you would go to that programs, the landing page for that program or event, Champions Award. This is where you'd click to nominate your business who's qualified as a champion award. And this is where, again, if you're nominating yourself, your organization information is going to be mostly here. Any other information, you'd move forward through the form in this manner. I did share with you, again, upcoming events for Charlie Mike trainings. This is where you'd go with kind of the where and the how. The other piece we've heard a lot about is the golf tournament, in terms of where to go to register, sponsorship information, and additional details about what it is if you wanted to participate. So, I'll reiterate one of the nice features that, we're really like excited about is, once you have a profile in here and once you start to register for an event, like your information should be there. It shouldn't take you long to register yourself or register other folks on your staff, in your company. So with that, like part of the takeaway, asking you all to please complete your profile, complete your business profile. If you have any questions about logging in, like all of us on staff would be happy to help make sure you have access. Adding your company contacts is that next step. One of the things, adding, federal agencies and large primes, please send us your opportunities so we can add them to this. I encourage you all to consider signing up for alerts. So when new opportunities do come across, they'll be sent right to your inbox. And then lastly, like send us your feedback about VetFedConnect. Like that's only going to help us with new features, with existing features, and to make this as user-friendly as possible. Again, a parting shot, we're going to continue to add to this guide to getting started, where we're going to have more tutorials. We're going to have more trainings like this through Charlie Mike training opportunities. And, very much with that, like I'll turn it back over to you, Earl, and just say, thank you for the opportunity. I hope, a few people may have questions, and I'm happy to share my screen and walk through some of what that could look like.
Okay, thank you, Zack. All right, this is a Q&A session, and we already got a question in already, like we predicted. And this is from Norris, one of our board of directors. He asked, will any non-members of the NVSBC have access or profiles in VetFedConnect?
Great question. So yes, prospects will have, we have, like we talked about 47,000 SD VOSBs and VOSBs in the system, but prospects have a different experience, and we tailor that experience different. Like members have access to the opportunities and some of the other events, the deals, and prospects do not. So one of the pieces that prospects can still update some of their profile information so they can be found, but members will have full access to be able to find all those other prospects, their information, or if primes or other federal agencies are interested in like finding certain of those 47,000. So I hope that answers your question, Norris, but the experience is completely different from a prospect to from a full paying member.
Okay. Next question is from me. And one thing I noticed that a lot of owners are using social media, like for instance, LinkedIn. Would they be able to access LinkedIn through VetFedConnect?
Yeah, I think like a couple different things come to mind through that question, Earl. There will be messaging within the system. That's one of the pieces that we're putting the final touches on at the moment. But also, like that could be like an attribute or feature that we add in terms of profiles. So if people wanted to have access to that, that's something we could certainly consider adding. That's a good question.
Okay. Is there any other questions from the audience? I know there's a lot of information. I know you're going to be reaching out to us after this briefing, but please go ahead and ask away. Boy, you guys being quiet. Well, again, if you have any questions, you know how to reach me, you know how to reach Zack. We will answer the questions to you. But please go ahead and look through the system, and please provide your feedback to the system. And of course, this system comes with your membership. You're not paying $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 for this platform. It comes with your membership. That's a big takeaway from this at all.
Well, I'll end with just saying thank you all. Look forward to working more with each and every one of you and making sure, we're helping you achieve your goals and advocating for you and, providing you the right level of access. So we're all ears, and we're champions behind making sure your business grows. So thank you for your time.
Definitely. Thank you so much. The recording and the slides will be out tomorrow. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact Zack or myself anytime about VetFedConnect. Until then, we're gonna skip a week for Charlie and Mike, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with the Air Force. Be doing Charlie and Mike for us, talk about how to do business with them. So thank you very much, and I will see you next time. Take care.
Take care.